Forging Friendships Season 2 is sponsored by Iron Mountain Metalcraft, located in the beautiful Pigeon Forge, Tennessee area. Go forge a memory with Forged in Fire fan favorite Robbie Bowman. Woo! Season 2 is also sponsored by Oklahoma Knife Group, Black Dragon Forge, Paragon Kilns, Honest Aloe, Gents, and by viewers like you, link in description.
I moved down to Texas in 1997, and I've always been big into the outdoors. And at the time, the internet was still kind of young, and there wasn't a website devoted to where to go hiking and camping and kayaking and all these outdoor adventures in Texas. So me being me and me being the son of my dad, decided I'll build one. And so I created a blog, and it was every weekend I'd go off on some adventure. And then I'd write up what I found, where I went, what I liked about it, what I didn't like about it. And it became mildly popular, but what really caught people's eyes is when I'd mentioned some of the different edible and medicinal plants and mushrooms I was finding out there, to the point where people started contacting me and saying, hey, we're going camping next weekend. Will you come with and teach us wild edible and medicinal plants? I was like, yeah, sure, I'll do that. And then in 2008, the Houston Arboretum contacted me and said, hey, we hear you teach wild edible plant classes. Will you teach one for us? And so I taught one in the fall of 2008, two in the spring of 2009, and then it became a monthly class up until the COVID hit. But from there, it exploded. All sorts of nature preserves, homeschool groups, church groups, master gardeners, master naturalists, survivalist groups, bushcrafters, everyone and anyone. When they discovered, hey, there was someone in Texas that knew wild edible plants, they wanted to learn. And one of the things I did then to help the students, and I didn't understand at the time how big this was going to become, is I set up a website, foragingtexas.com, which currently has around 230 plants and mushrooms in great detail, multiple pictures, range maps, both Texas at a county level and North America at the state and province level. Recipes, side-by-side pictures of the mimics, how to tell them apart, everything a beginner forager really needs to start foraging. And that caught the eye of DK Publishing. DK Publishing, they were the creators of the Idiot's Guide series. And so in 2014, they reached out to a bunch of foragers around the nation and said, hey, would you be interested in writing a foraging book, The Idiot's Guide to Foraging? And some said yes, some said no. Those of us that said, yeah, I'd be interested, they actually held a writing contest. They said, okay, here's the format of the book. They had very specific, and we need 25 words on the leaves, 25 words on the stem, 50 words on the fruit, very laid out, and this, how to use it. So very, very specific word counts and very specific formatting and rules and photograph requirements and all this sort of stuff. And long story short, I beat out all the other foragers who wanted to write that. And they said, okay, you got the gig. You now have 3 months to write a foraging book following this format that covers 70 plants, covers all of North America, and there's no travel fund or anything, so you got to supply everything. Along with that, there's also going to be 30 recipes in it. And so you need to come up with the recipes and also the photographs of the food. And like I said, you got 3 months to do it in, because that's how the Idiot's Guide works. They find an idiot to write a book for them, and away they go. And so for the next 3 months, every night I would lock myself up in the bedroom and be typing away on this book, writing everything. Every day I would send the publisher the next plant information, the photographs, all this sort of thing. One of the great things though about where we live here in Houston and kind of right at the east edge of the East Texas, it's one of the most biologically plant diversity places, not just in North America, but practically the planet. Yeah, the Amazon is better, but as far as coming up with 70 plants that are found all across North America, you couldn't ask to be in a better place than Houston to do this, because we have everything here. So it was very easy to go out and get all the photographs and write the book. And it became in the top 3 best-selling idiot's guide ever when it was released. The one unfortunate thing about it is that I didn't get any royalties from it. It was just a one-time payment, and and away I got. And so the book sold tens and tens of thousands of copies, and to the point where in 2020, during the COVID, they said, hey, we want to reissue this book, but we want to issue it under our Outdoor Adventure Guide series, which also is still by DK Publishing, Alpha Publishing, but we need you to update it. We want to replace at least 10% of the plants. We want all new recipes. And also if you can switch up a lot of photographs. And yeah, you still have 3 months to do it. So basically, rewrote the book, added new photographs, new words, new plants, all new recipes. Pine boiled sweet potatoes, absolutely fantastic. But all these sort of things in there, and released it as the Outdoor Adventure Guide Foraging. Available on Amazon, available at medicinemanplantco.com. I prefer you get it from medicinemanplantco.com.
Very good.
But yeah, 70 plants, covers all of North America. One thing the publisher did request, though, is that I not include information on the medicinal uses of plants, because they felt that was going to be a liability hazard. They did not want to mess with that. So it is only the edible things. And then the recipes in back this time are what I call campfire cooking type stuff. The previous recipes were more of a fancy foodie kitchen, impress your friends sort of thing. The new recipes are you're out in the woods and what can I eat that's going to taste good and be easy to cook up, and different ways of using the wild stuff around me, either as dishes themselves or to improve the flavor of other stuff you're cooking. But it's not a fancy kitchen type thing. It is, I got a campfire, I got a pot, I got a cast iron frying pan, what can I do sort of stuff. So I'm very, very, very proud of this book. It's probably my legacy in a lot of ways. So I'm deeply tied into the bushcrafter community. The bushcrafter, think of it as primitive skills out in the wild, minimal gear, suffering joyously in the woods. And here in Houston, Houston is the home of Wazoo survival gear. Now it's Wazoo everyday carry gear, which was started by a adventurer and a NASA engineer who basically, they wanted to make sure people got home from their adventures. And it's important in a NASA engineer. They want the astronauts to come home, and same with the river guide, adventure guide, Dustin and Nick. And so they created Wazoo Survival, and they reached out to me because they had attended several of my classes, and they are deeply involved in the bushcraft community, especially the TV show Alone. A number of people that had been on Alone had used the Wazoo survival gear. One of them, Dr. Nicole Appelian. And Dr. Appelian's claim to fame is she is also a forager and an herbalist. And so they decided, well, Nicole, Mark, can you come up with what we consider to be the 12 best, most useful plants for a bushcrafter in North America? And after some discussion we did, and the end result is this bandana. And so what Nicole and I thought were the 12 best plants for food, for calories, for medicinal properties, for fire starting, for cordage. Basically, with these 12 plants, if you can identify and find these 12 plants, you're going to have a very comfortable time out in the wild. And it's just a fun project. A bandana is extremely useful out in the wild. I mean, everything from making an impromptu basket for carrying your finds, for straining out silt and mud from water, for just covering your head from the sun, from bandaging yourself, if need be, fire starting in an extreme situation, soaking up dew and squeezing it out to get water for your canteen. All sorts of useful things for a bandana. And so just a key piece of survival gear that's even more useful because it has all this information on it ready to be seen and used. So another proud moment of mine was definitely the being involved in the creation and release of this, because I like making things, especially when they're things that I think help people. My goal is to help people through connecting them to nature. Something that I just started in 2024 as part of Medicine Man Plant Company is what I call the Texas Village Healer Initiative. The world is getting crazy. We've seen that when there were supply chain issues and suddenly people couldn't get toilet paper or blood pressure medicine or all these other things. And it made me realize something that every town, village, neighborhood in Texas needs is some sort of trained medicinal herbalist type person that can help with the everyday boo-boos and injuries and infections and health issues. And so I started up the Texas Village Healer Initiative, which is free online classes. They are live streamed on Rumble, and then after the live stream, they're still up there. So if you go to Texas Village Healer Initiative on Rumble or Merriwether on Rumble, search either of those on Rumble, you'll see the videos. There are Substack, so Merriwether on Substack.com, a bunch of written essays on how to be the village healer. And of course, the social media. The easiest first place to start to find everything I do is the website foragingtexas.com. And from there, it has all the plants, but it also has upcoming classes, links to my YouTube channel, link to the Rumble. But up in the top there is a tab that goes to Medicine Man Plant Co. And that is where all my health related stuff is. Not just my herbal primaries, but all my caveman health tips and better links to the Texas Village Healer Initiative information. So all the videos, all the Substack, all that. So it's a little complicated because I didn't set out to create all this. It just kind of got thrust upon me and I'm sticking things on to things. But if you start at foragingtexas.com, from there you can find everything else. Maybe someday I'll make some sort of unified thing, but that requires time and money, which I don't have right now. When you go to foragingtexas.com, there will be links for everything. The classes, the book, the bandana, the Medicine Man Plant Co., the Rumble, the YouTube, the Substack, social media, all that sort of stuff you can get to from foragingtexas.com and head down any number of rabbit holes. As it's something I've been working on for 20 years now. There's a lot of information there, all in one place.